Good morning, everybody, and welcome out to another Dice Tower Q&A. My name's Chris Yee. Oh, I'm wearing my hat backwards. There we go. Now I look better. How's it going, everybody? This is Halloween. This is Halloween, as I've heard the song goes. I cannot continue to wear these sunglasses lest I not be able to actually read your questions, which would defeat the purpose of this Q&A. Also, these are my dad's sunglasses, probably from 1978. Alrighty, folks. How is everybody doing today? Oh, you know what? Before I forget, guess what else we're going to do? We're going to do a giveaway. What is that called? We have a sponsored prize giveaway. What is that thing called? Anyway, contest, competition, something or other. You know what? Let me go ahead and just add one of these to the screen here. If you would like to win a $10 gift card to GameNerds.com, go ahead and email us at contest@dicetower.com. I'm putting this in here because it's okay. Contest@dicetower.com, and in the subject line, you got to put in the word Halloween. Let's throw that up there on the screen. Let's make it a little bit bigger for everybody, for the good folks. Oh my gosh, wearing this white shirt was a terrible idea. Right up there. Here we go. So email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word Halloween, and you can win yourself a $10 gift card to GameNerds.com, an online store for games that I enjoy. I enjoy their stuff quite a bit. They have good prices. I've always had good luck when I purchase from there. So thank you to them for sponsoring this giveaway here. Go ahead and enter that. How's everybody doing today? I am having a good day. We just got invited to some Halloween plans for tonight, which I didn't want to actually do anything for Halloween. I really didn't want to. We've talked about this in Board Game Breakfast. It felt like it's been like a whole weekend of Halloween starting on Friday. And so, yeah, we've done a lot of stuff with our kid. She has candy. We had fun. We've dressed up in costumes. This is not my normal attire. But you know what, hanging out with some folks from our church and getting together, letting her play with other kids, that's always really good. So we've got a few little Halloween plans for tonight, but nothing big. I like it. We're going to chill and grill some dogs. Chill and grill. That's clean. That's perfectly clean. It's not a Netflix type situation here. So let's go and get some questions going on here. Starting with Bruce Schwering. Since this is your first year of both Gen Con and Essen Spiel, which experience did you prefer? Well, I mean, very selfishly, I liked going to Essen. I liked flying to Germany. I didn't like flying to Germany. I liked being in Germany. I thought that was really cool. The travel is easier to Gen Con. I think I don't know. I think it's a different experience. I liked being at Essen more so for what's unique about it. Being in Germany, eating German food, meeting people that I don't get to meet here in the States. Gen Con's fantastic, though. Both are great. They both absolutely are. There are some things that could make Gen Con even cooler this coming year. We'll see. But you know, and just that being my second year of Gen Con, I think helped it feel less overwhelming. And then going to Essen. If Spiel was my first big convention, oh man, I would have probably been overwhelmed. So I'm going to go with Spiel simply because of the food, and I like to travel with my tummy. All right. What is your favorite Pokemon? Charizard, because I'm a basic, you know, Asian boy. I don't know, basic fanboy. I don't know. Charizard's cool. He's basically a dragon. He's not a dragon type Pokemon. Whatever. I don't really care that closely. Plus, I don't know anything past 150 because I couldn't be bothered. So, I don't know. I actually don't even like Pokemon that much. I'm wearing this because my daughter wanted to dress up as Pikachu when he was Misty. I was Ash. This was easier to wear than, say, like a warm Pokemon costume. But I enjoy the show. We've been watching it with her daughter, and it's fun. It's cute. It brings back childhood memories. Any update on PAX? I'm going to leave that all up to Tom. I don't know if there's a live show or not. I think we need to finalize that information. Pretty much everybody from the office will I don't want to speak for everybody. I know Wendy's not going to be able to make it. It's just difficult during the school year for both of us to travel out to a convention, so I'll be going to do that one. I imagine that we'll be doing travel vlogs, so I'll be late at night, editing together more travel vlogs for PAX. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But first, I've got a huge Thanksgiving dinner that I need to eat before I even worry about PAX. All right. Halloween, would you rather play Broom Service or Betrayal at House on the Hill? Well, I love Broom Service, and so I will play that anytime that I basically can. Betrayal is a fun game, but it's, yeah, I get it. Halloween is cool and everything. I don't really play a lot of board games around seasons and stuff, but yeah, Betrayal is cool. Broom Service is chef's kiss fantastic, though. Oh, I have not seen Treehouse of Horror 33. Big anime fans who love the Death Note episode. I really like Death Note. I'm not really big into super dark stuff, but Death Note was a really good anime, mostly because it's so head gamey. If you haven't watched it, you know, a high school age student finds a Death Note book. You can write the name of any person in this book, and they will die, and it will not be traced back to you. They'll suddenly, magically, horrifically die of a car accident or have a heart attack. So what do you do when you have absolute power? It's a very good show, very, like I said, head-thinky. There's a whole fantastic bit where, you know, a lot of anime shows, someone is like, oh, but if I do this technique, then they'll counter it with this, so I must, blah, blah, blah. But he's sitting there, like, eating, you know, eating a bag of chips at his computer, and he's having this whole headspace conversation. It's fantastic, really good. Was Universal Halloween Horror Nights scary? Not really. It's jump scary, right? There are certain things that happen. People jump out of something and you get those nerves. But I'm not a big jumpy person. I'm not a big reaction person. I'm a very bad person to buy gifts for because I'm not a big reaction person. And so, yeah, so Halloween Horror Nights, it's fun to go through the haunted houses. I like the rides and stuff a lot. Just being there with different people, just being there with the folks from the office, that was fun, more than scares and stuff. Oh, this is funny. Mike did a behind the scenes of his week so you could see what it looked like. Could you do one of those? I did do one of those. I think I did the first one, actually. So you can find a behind the scenes of my week, unless for some reason Tom deleted it because it was too amazing. So, yeah, you should be able to find one of me for sure. Where are you, Earth? Now used to this background. This is what we affectionately call the unboxing studio. We have 3 main studios going on in the office right now. Number 4 is being built, and we're very excited about that. It's coming along quite well. The actual physical stuff of the garage has been converted and everything, and so we have carpet, we have all that jazz in there. I will leave Tom. I don't know what I'm supposed to or not supposed to say. But we're starting to get the equipment rolled in there, and then, of course, building the set as well, because you don't want to just film against a blank wall. So this is the unboxing studio. If you watch Tom's Boring Unboxing, if you watch our daily unboxing channel, this is the studio. The table that I'm sitting at is where we do those. This is also where we store games. In fact, if you watch my behind the scenes, if you watch any of our behind the scenes, you might see some of the different studios. You know, I guess when that new one is done, maybe we should do like a whole studio tour because a lot of people don't know what the different backgrounds are. Top 5 condiments. My number 1 is bacon bits. I'm not a big bacon person, but I like bacon on things. Barbecue sauce for sure. Chick-fil-A sauce. I do. Oh, it's just a good chicken dipping sauce. And we have a bottle of it at home, and we have a bottle of it in this refrigerator, and I should eat less of it. But yeah, ketchup is up there. I really like ketchup, but like a nice garlic aioli. I'm going to call those good 5. No, Loopy, this is not the new studio, unfortunately. You know what it is? Oftentimes, this is Peacock Studio. I'm going to do something here. I hope this is not a complete disaster. But you might be more used to seeing the framing of this studio like this. Bam! Sometimes I've filmed reviews and stuff over here. Tom likes to do things head-on, apply directly to the forehead this way. And so for some reason, there's been more of these lately, like this direct shot. I usually shoot into the corner. And so it's not bad because then you can have multiple different kind of angles in which to film. This is the Mr. Rogers studio. If you've watched the old, my first rapid fire roundup, I did the Mr. Rogers shtick thing around here. What is my favorite Vital Lacerda game? I am a big fan of Escape Plan. That one's my favorite. I like On Mars almost as much, but Escape Plan's easier to remember the rules to and teach, so I like that one. I'm looking forward to... You know what I really want to do is I still haven't played Vinos Deluxe Edition. I've been warming up more to Vinos. I thought at the first time I played it was a complex mess. And I think that it is a complex half of a mess. I want to get rid of that bank mechanism. So I really want to play the 2016 Deluxe Edition. But I'm looking forward to Weather Machine and stuff as well. How do I feel about the new CMON stuff? Eddie, rock and roll! I would have to be a fan of CMON games to begin with, to at all want that stuff. CMON's a funny company. I like a lot of their games when they publish, like their Euro game line of things. They did, was it Lorenzo? I don't like Lorenzo that much, but I like when they bring out these games like Gizmos and Ethnos and stuff. Lorenzo's, I half like it, I half don't. And I just sit there and think like, what? Why don't they support those games nearly as much? Well, money, that's why. But yeah, there's no Eddie promo for Gizmos. I'm out. I've not yet played Weather Machine. Have I seen the Yee dinosaur meme? I have not yet. I'm going to have to look that up. I did not pre-order the new Pokemon game. There's a flying Pikachu? You know, I haven't played any of the Pokemon video games. No, I played Pokemon Stadium, and I played Pokemon Snap. And I gotta tell you, Pokemon Snap is a great time. Incidentally, we're gonna be reviewing Marvel Snap this week, which is a very different game. Do I know what type of Myers-Briggs I am? Extrovert. I'm an extrovert. I don't remember what the other things are. We did this for one of my previous jobs. You know, I understand some of the usefulness of the Myers-Briggs stuff, but also some people put a little too much weight into it. But no, I think that they're decently useful. They're just like any basic psychological evaluation or anything. But I could have told you already that I was an extrovert before that. The simple question, are you an introvert or extrovert, is not are you outgoing or shy or anything. It is, where do you recharge your batteries at the end of the day? Do you recharge your batteries by being social and hanging out with people? Or do you recharge your battery, so to speak, at the end of the day by going home and just having a little bit of quiet time, reading a book, getting into a hobby, something like that? I'm decently on the extroverted side. Out of the office, Tom is the only person more extroverted than me. Also, thank you, Genway. I'm glad that you appreciate the travel vlogs. That was very fun. What was your career prior to this? Well, humble people, I was an accountant. I was a wee, boring cog in a gigantic wheel. I worked for Station Casinos Group out in Las Vegas as an internal auditor. There was a lot of fun with that job. I liked my coworkers. I liked the people that I worked with. The tasks are monotonous and stuff, but I have been inside the casino cages with millions of dollars around me, and I've watched people count out every single dollar of it. So there's some like, woo, and then some, ooh, to the job. I was in public accounting before and everything. I didn't love public. I liked working for a company more. Doing internal audit was fun. But I pivoted into this, and I'm much happier for it. Any good Korean food in Miami? There is no good Korean food in Miami. So when I go back to Vegas, that is one of the priority things that I do, is I find a great Korean barbecue. I hope that I get to take a little bit of time again before Dice Tower West and just spend some time with my family and friends again and stuff, because there's a really great Korean grocery called Greenland Market, where they have like a lot of pre-marinated foods, the sides, and all the little dishes. Oh, I want to go back to Vegas and eat Korean food. Tommy Kerbo, that is a disgusting question. I'm not even going to put it up. I don't know which of those I'd rather find. What is my costume? What is my costume? I'm Vash the Stampede from Trigun. No, I'm Ash Ketchum-All from the Ketchum-All show. Loopy found the behind the scenes of me. Yeah, there you go. All right, I'll toot my own horn for a minute. What was your favorite of the adequate intros that I have done, there are so many that I barely can remember them. I really like the stupid Reiner Knizia bit. As people have pointed out, we did a reverse shot of me and Mike, Dr. Reiner Knizia talking to Mike as the scientist that thawed me out for some reason. And in the reverse shot, one of them I was wearing my glasses, one of them I wasn't, and it just looked really terrible, and it added to the kitsch, nature of it. That was a lot of fun to do. I don't know. I just have fun. I just have fun doing stuff. There is something also coming up that you will want to watch tomorrow. I had a hand in it. I made it pretty fun. Is that Godzilla vs. Kong still in the wrapper? If you're on the unboxing studio, you should unbox it. There's that one. Enrique Dueñas, Godzilla v. Kong. I don't know anything about this one, folks, but I mean, we are slowly working our way through unboxings, of course. It's just a perpetual thing. You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to give you a little bit of behind the scenes that this is a portion. Okay. Be prepared. I will be spinning the camera. I shall be spinning it. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. These are all things that need to be unboxed, folks. Almost all of these, and then of course there's also the up and down. Here we go. Oh wait. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we clearly haven't unboxed yet. You just come home from Spiel with so much stuff. I'm going to try and move this not incredibly fast. So yes, the Godzilla vs. Kong game is still in shrink over there. Okay. Hope that was fun and not very nauseating. I will see when I get back to the comments further down. But I mean, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Are you particularly recommending? Is Godzilla vs. Kong a fantastic game? Who knows? Mike DeLisio. Most handsome man of the Dice Tower. Wendy reminds me of this decently frequently. What's the heaviest board game that you enjoy? I don't know. I couldn't really think of it. Depends on the definition of heavy and all that jazz, but like, people say On Mars is one of Lacerda's heaviest, and it's funny because I find that one fairly intuitive, so I don't know if that is. Some people say Brass Birmingham is really heavy, but I don't think it compares with some of the stuff that I've played. I can't remember at the moment. Outside the Dice Tower, how many game groups are you involved with? We go up to Cool Stuff in the Kendall area on Tuesday evenings sometimes, and so there's a decent amount of folks that come out to that. Sometimes we host some game nights here, but in terms of like game group, I don't really have like a steady game group. I try to play games with people from the office, and you might assume that we play games with each other all the time, and we don't particularly. We play plenty of games together, like we do, but when people say, oh, I think there's a lot of groupthink going on with some of your reviews if your scores are very tight and close to each other, sometimes it just happens. I play games with people at the game store, then I play games with Wendy, then I play a game with Mike on occasion. And so, I don't know, sometimes we just feel very similarly about a game. It just happens. My favorite part about working at the Dice Tower page is just the creative freedom that I have. I get to do a lot of stupid stuff that I absolutely love doing. I was lying down on the floor yesterday, pointing my phone camera at Mike as he's lying there on the carpet. I was like, okay, Mike, now do this. Try this. And you'll see tomorrow, just a snippet of what that was about. So I'm hoping I can make a full-length kind of video. Not a full-length video, but like a full-length intro and stuff out of what I did. But I love Tom says, hey, we need this thing. And then he walks away because he trusts all of us to get the stuff done and do the stuff. I don't know if I've eaten a Creednoten. Chocolate Creednoten. Oh, that sounds really good, though, whatever it might be. So we came home with a lot of stroopwafels, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. Oh, is there a glitch? Apologies if there was a glitch. Oh, yeah, Josh, you promised. You threatened me that you're going to ask this question. Me and my old lady are not big fans of Wingspan. Curious as to why. And thank you for the compliments. Now, it's funny, Wingspan is one of those games that we're not trying to be contrarian by any means. It's immensely popular, and I think for good reason. I think the single mechanism that bothers me the most in Wingspan is the bird feeders, the food tray thing. There's a decent amount of luck with the card draw and what cards you can end up getting from the lineup and whatnot. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with all of that. But man, it's so aggravating when you're sitting there wasting time wanting to do things, having a really great bird that will add to your strategy, but just there's not food for it. No one's rolled rats for quite a while. Yes, Chris, you can get a lot of different goods and then you can trade in 2 for 1, but that's so much more inefficient than if someone just rolled rats. I enjoy a lot of wings, but you'll see actually, we'll be discussing this. There's an upcoming review where I'll be discussing about this, right? But I think that alone, I would love to change. If you could just grab whatever resources you wanted, it still takes actions and stuff, and you still have choice. There's a lot of good choices to make in Wingspan constantly that I don't feel like the dice add any fun to it for me. It adds some decision and waiting and tension and whatnot, but it doesn't add any fun whatsoever for me. I think that's the biggest thing, and I know that we were... I was playing Wingspan with Wendy, and we were like, oh, we haven't played this in years. Let's try the new thing, right? And she was so angry during it. She seldom gets like, not table flipping angry, but gets like really angry during a game, and I could tell she was just seething. So, yeah, I think we both really don't like that mechanism very much. All right, so anyway, I hope that... I don't know what the glitch was. I guess I'll have to go back and watch it later or something. At PAX U, would you prefer a hug, handshake, or a wave from across the room? Throw some rocks at me. No, I'm a hugger. I'm fine with hugs. Introduce yourself to me first, and then go for the big old abrazo right there. But like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the handshake, hugs, whatever. But yeah, I just don't necessarily want people to run up to me and just hug me. Surprisingly, and I assume that you wouldn't because you're asking this question. So, Dustin, this is an interesting idea. What are your thoughts on doing a similar or a series of videos that highlights games that are coming to retail this week, similar to crowd surfing? It's hard because I would first need to find a resource of where, like a cohesive resource where, hey, these are the games with the street date today. And then also, where do you count that? Do you count European release, or do we only focus on US release? Kickstarter has that benefit of typically being worldwide, and so everybody can see it all at the same time. It's not a bad idea. I just don't know where you would necessarily see that. And then also, we review games, if they're coming out to street date or retail release, then we might have a copy of it already. It's not a bad idea. I think it'd be kind of interesting, but I think there's a few obstacles to it already, and then I wonder if people would watch it. But I don't know, maybe there could be something to that. Interesting. Mr. Jesse Reynolds, I'm very sorry that you apparently look like me, to the point where your kids ask you if I'm you when you watch a video with me. And the answer that you tell your kids is, yes, I'm internet famous to 400 people. I only have one. I've had 2 seasons of The Simpsons on DVD. There's a nice little thing called Disney Plus exists now, and I would love to chase down and have like the set of The Simpsons DVDs and stuff. But I am just not really a collector. I don't have that collector mindset. I've collected a lot of movies over the years from like cheap DVDs especially, and I haven't touched my DVD wallets in quite a while. I also downsized the cases into like those little carrying wallet things. Not wallet, but like the carrying books, and it'd be cool to own more seasons of The Simpsons and hard media. Disney Plus couldn't just one day decide to like, hey, pull the plug on The Simpsons, and then all of a sudden, oh no, if only you have the hard media, you can watch it. I'm concerned about that, sure, but also it's very convenient in the meantime. Not only have I had some chance to see gameplay of The Unconscious Mind, actually I haven't watched any, but we demoed it. We did a few demo rounds at Spiel. And I will save my thoughts, of course, for the future. It's not even out yet or anything, but I am very excited to play it again. I'll just leave it at that. I'm very, very excited to play it again. Yeah, Gizmos on Board Game Arena. Yeah, I should play some more of that. Right now I'm finishing up a game of Ultimate Railroads on Board Game Arena. Some friends of mine from different podcasts and stuff back in the day, the Board Boys podcast and the No Cube Zone, we have like an eternal grudge match of Can't Stop. I probably have almost 300 games of Can't Stop at this point played on Board Game Arena, and then we just kind of throw on some game and we'll play that asynchronously. And so we're getting near the end of Russian Railroads. Wow, kudos to you, Tim. I throw away my game boxes and I bag my games so I can store multiple games in storage bins. Do you think there's a way to store games? More games in less space than this? I don't, unless you just start sharing components. Wendy's mom would do that. She would take all of the boards for a bunch, like back in the day, like the mass market games and stuff. She would put all of the boards in one like Monopoly box, and then she just had a bag of pieces on the side of it. That sounds horrifying to me. Like, we're going to play Sorry. Get some red pieces out of the bucket, kids. Unsurprisingly, pieces got lost. So, I don't know, Tim. That sounds very devoted. I'm not sure I could do that system. Can we get a let's see here? Let's see here. What other hats do you wear outside of reviewer and editor for the Dice Tower? No, I do zero accounting. I cannot tell you how happy I am that I do zero accounting for the Dice Tower, especially because Tom handles the finances, as he is the president of the company, and then he has a professional tax accountant help on the tax side of things, right? He goes to him as a client. I assume. I've never actually asked Tom how the taxes are done because one of the conditions of hiring me, I told Tom, you don't want me doing your taxes. I didn't do taxes at all in my professional accounting, so you don't want that. And if you do ask me to do that, then I'll. I didn't say this, but if he still asked me, I would have then questioned his business logic and business savvy. Will there be a best of 2022 video this year? Absolutely, as long as Tom wants it, and I think that we do want it. I'm just putting out the soft call now, I guess, right? If you're watching this, if you have favorite moments, you can go ahead and email. Go ahead and just email me, chris@dicetower.com with those. Or I should leave this for Tom. To announce when he wants to do that. But just as on a personal level, if you're like, hey, this was a funny moment, you can email me. But I'm sure Tom will put out the call proper, and that will probably be in the Winter Spectacular, which is only like 6 weeks away. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of games to play, so we can figure out what the best games of the year are, and still inevitably be about it. Was that the glitch? I think there's a reason we don't do a lot of live streams from this back studio here. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, if you email me any stuff, then I'll still take a look at it. But those best of the year videos are really fun to do. If I can't find a game on Amazon, where are the best places for me to look for it? Oof. I mean, Game Nerds is the first thing I'm going to recommend. They kind of sponsored this video, right? But like any of the online retailers, but if it's not on Amazon, there's a very small chance of it being on like a website like Game Nerds. And if it's not there, Board Game Geek has used copy listings. Like if you're really hunting down a copy of a game, I've had good luck on eBay, actually. I got a copy of Nexus Ops for like $20 on eBay. A lot of them are going to be higher and more expensive, so you just look for things where you're willing to actually put in that price. Board Game Geek, the geek market, I think they just updated to a new geek market, so you might be able to find stuff there. It's hard, and then just flea markets. And ultimately, I think one of the things that Tom kind of has the mentality of, and I agree with it, is if you can't find a game, it's okay, because there's thousands of others that are in print that are really good too. Like, for example, I really want to get a copy of Cold Baron. I played Cold Baron again at this last retreat, and I had so much fun with it. It was in my top 100, and then I sat down. I haven't played it in a little while. I played it again, and I was nervous. How's it going to go? Those first few turns, there's a new person there. Are they going to enjoy this, or have I kind of been exaggerating this game? And by the end of it, it was so fun and just so exciting to see what the end game scoring and stuff was going to be. I don't own a copy of it, but it'll be okay. I'll get a chance to find ways to play it occasionally somewhere. So today, that's just kind of my thought, my idea on that. I'd love to see a full Dice Tower Studios tour with everyone in fancy dress and a red carpet as you roll a camera into to welcome the audience there. I'm not going to turn the camera anymore, but I have my little costume department over there, and by that I mean just stupid stuff that I've brought from home. My big coat and my lab coat, and my Jurassic Park shirt, and I went to church yesterday. I was like, where's my suit jacket? Oh yeah, I've left it here in the office because I don't really wear it that often. In Florida, it's hot. And so yeah, that's like my costume department. That's actually probably where this is going to go, now that I think about it. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Everyone dress up their best. I try not to ask too much of everybody else because I have dumb ideas. Mike is so willing. He's willing for me to just point a camera to him and be like, okay, now do this stupid thing, please. And I ask the others for help on occasion. I try not to bother them too much just because I know ultimately I'm having more fun than everybody else. But Wendy, of course, is very willing to. Camilla's helped me out with bits, and Roy and stuff. Z's, been helpful. And so I will include Tom. I'll just include everybody, right? Tom did a couple of little bits and stuff with me, but like I try not to bother them too much. So I'm not going to say, hey, please everyone, black tie tomorrow because we need to film a little silly thing. I'm glad that you pick up on my tenuous and obscure Simpsons references. Does anyone at the Dice Tower play World of Warcraft? I don't think any of us do. I don't think any of us really have the time commitment. Is the camera glitching? If it is, that's interesting. Sorry about that. I appreciate so much when people attribute a lot of the funny things, the funny edits and stuff to me. I don't do all of them, especially if it's a Tom review. Roy is probably the editor on that. And so Roy has done some funny stuff, and I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes for like the fun little things he does. Those just the outro, like when I'm done with this video, you're gonna watch the outro. Like Roy put that together, a ton of work. Mike has done some really funny things. So all of us do contribute some funny review, edits and funny little like snippets in here and there. So it's not all me. In fact, I'm not sure the one you're referencing with Tom screeching at the end of a review. It might have been me. I don't know, right? But that's the other thing too. Is I'm also okay with the fact that I'm not the only person who does funny edits here in the studio, and I don't want them falsely attributed to me. But I'm also okay not having to like claim, oh, that one was me. Oh, I was funny for once. I'm not the person who has played any Time Stories expansions, Wendy nor I, so I would be the wrong person to ask. But I mean, thankfully, you can watch just a ton of the reviews. Tom and Sam probably reviewed most of them. So yeah, I'd recommend go watch those. What is the worst thing to find? A 2-liter bottle of flat Dr. Pepper or a copy of Mombasa without the cooked books expansion? I really like the cookbooks expansion. It's one of the few promos that I rate a 10. I think it adds that much to the game. To a game I already enjoy perfectly well without it. But yeah, I would much rather play with it. The copy I own currently of Mombasa doesn't have it, unfortunately. Wendy would tell you that she enjoys flat Dr. Pepper quite a bit. I'm okay with it. It still tastes like the nectar of the gods, but it doesn't have the fizzy. But no, I'd rather find a copy of Mombasa, because I could buy the cookbooks expansion. Wendy loved Revive. What would be your rating? Very similar to hers, probably an 8.5 for now, but I could see playing it more and maybe it increasing. It's a very good game. Not theme first by any means, but it's really solid. I love the three, the yellow, gray, and the green tech tree kind of thing going on. Wow, it's such a smart little visual design on it. A little bit hard to read for some people, but I took to it like a fish to water. I really liked it. How do I come up with my puns? I've given up on shame 100% and entirely. So I'm also not the punniest person in the office. Everybody says more puns than me, I feel like, and then they sit there and go, "Oh, that's a Chris joke." I'm like, wait. How did this only become my thing? Did I pick up video editing after I got hired? No, I did a lot of video editing before. Anytime in high school class project, I could submit a video instead of stand in front of the class and read a presentation. I would do that. I think we've all sat there through too many presentations where someone has their paper and they're just reading straight off of it. You know, my author, the biography of my author, her father was a lawyer and her mother was a suffragist. Oh my gosh. I'm quoting literally word for word. One of my senior year presentations I had to listen through. So I would always try and do like a video, because you can do dumb, silly things. You can do non sequiturs. You can do funny little B-roll type things. And I always enjoyed doing that whenever I could. And so I've recorded music for years and years now. I'm probably almost 20 years. I've been recording music with whatever rudimentary software I could get for free. And so video editing and audio editing have some good parallels. And then I just watch a lot of comedy things. And so I think I have a decent, what would you describe as a decent eye for comedy. I'm not the funniest person at coming up with stuff on the spot. Wendy is punnier than me. Z and Mike are more funny, jokester type people and punchline type people than me. Tom and Camilla come up with fun little zingers and stuff on the spot. I think, I think that everybody has different strengths, but I've got a good eye for comedy when I see, I can envision kind of a bigger thing, which is why sometimes I'll grab someone and be like, hey, do this thing really quick, let's try this, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like I'm on like a director seat. It sounds so highfalutin, but no, I can direct a scene, I can edit it down, chop it down, find the right beats to kind of emphasize. So that's all stuff, that stuff I've just had way more opportunity to work with here. So I really like it. What's my favorite pun topic? I don't know. That's the thing. A good pun doesn't require a topic. It's just the best puns are just in the moment. They're just in the moment, and they're zingy and quick, and they just happen. What was my best costume from when I was a kid or an adult? One year I decided to dress up as Luke Skywalker for Halloween. I had a black ninja costume that had this big old dragon on the front, so I wore it inside out, and so I was wearing Luke Skywalker's all black outfit from Return of the Jedi, and I had a black glove on my right hand, but I didn't have the appropriate glove, so I wore one of my stepdad's weightlifting gloves. So there's like finger gloves, which defeats the purpose of the glove that Luke Skywalker wore in Return of the Jedi. But it was a black glove. I didn't own a toy lightsaber. I didn't have the Mark Hamill haircut. So nobody knew what I was, and that was my best costume that I've ever done. If I were a character in Winnie the Pooh, who would I be and why? Pooh Bear, so I could eat all that honey. Because I assumed that if I were a Pooh Bear, that honey would taste as delicious as it looks in that show. I'm very disappointed that real-life honey does not look like the Winnie the Pooh honey, nor does it taste the way that I imagine that honey would. How did my brother get into board gaming? So my brother is the person that introduced us to Dominion, Settlers of Catan, Munchkin, and then we kind of took Dominion and we really explored the hobby from there. He got introduced to Dominion and Catan from some friends that lived in Oregon, I think. He went to high school or college with them. They moved up there. And so he would stop by their place. He would work the summers in Alaska as a tour guide for one of the cruise companies. Very good summer paycheck if you're a young single man, right? So he would drive up there, work there for the summers, drive back to Vegas, and do the normal school year. He did that for years. He ended up living in Alaska for a while, more than you really care to know about my brother. But I think that he would make frequent he would make stops in Oregon, and so he would hang out with these people, and he got introduced to games. So when I got home from, I was serving a mission for my church, I got home and he said, hey, remember we used to play board games when we were kids? We used to play Risk and Axis and Allies and stuff. I found some really cool ones. So that's kind of, I think, how he got into it, and then thus how Wendy and I got into it. Interesting. Yeah, Garrett, I graduated from Durango High School also. I don't think that's a safety question for any of my bank accounts. But yeah, no, I graduated from Durango class of 07, baby. How's the D&D campaign going? We haven't played since some of the holidays and stuff started picking up. And then one of the people in our group had to move. He got a new job, a professorship up in Washington State. And so we need to pick that back up. We're close to like a nice resolution point of this whole campaign, actually. So I really want to finish it. I haven't played Mosaic, Barry, unfortunately. Mosaic sounds like it might be neat. I'm curious, a tad bit hesitant to try it, but I'm also interested. That box is gigantic, though, and I know people kind of make fun of me for my hesitation towards really ridiculously large box games. But I've also heard that the retail version of Mosaic is not as user-friendly. I'm sure it's still good. It's still the same core good game and everything. I wonder if it would bother me or not. I should have eaten it by now. Maybe I'm really sorry if I've eaten the crude Noten without realizing it, because I've definitely eaten a lot of the awesome European sweets and snacks and stuff without necessarily reading what they are. I'm like, this is probably good, and they sure are. So if I've had them, I liked them. I'll make that clear. But I could not compare, I'm sorry, side by side with stroopwafels at the moment. Let's see. Oh no! Time has gotten away from me. I'm going to keep kind of zooming along here. I'm not going to get to every question, of course. I'm sorry. Stupid stuff is going to be Chris's entire resume. Yes. This is an interesting question, right? How my former careers impacted my current job. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I definitely came into this job here with a very professional mindset. I had just gotten out of extremely professional jobs several years in a row that were just soul-crushingly professional. I hate using that word. They were uptight and everything like that. So I put a lot of hard work in. I very much love this job. This is the first job that I've come to where I've really felt like part of a team. In accounting jobs, you a lot of times work as a team of people, and people are relying on you and everything. And what you contribute really can burden or can really bless the team as a whole. And so I've taken a lot of that mentality of hard work and be very devoted and dedicated and stuff, but just without all that overhead and all that stress that comes in those very demanding professions that I think are underpaid and overworked and overstressed and everything. So I've been able to take a lot of that, I don't know, a lot of that, but applied it to a more, I don't want to say chill environment. We do a lot of work around the Dice Tower. If you watch those behind the scenes things, you see a lot of what we do. But yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm grateful for the experience that it taught me very much how to work very hard and be dedicated to something. Yeah, we can read the chat after the stream ends. Sometimes I'll click through if I feel like I missed a lot of stuff, but I mean a lot of times also with Q&A, I'll have seen a decent amount of it. Maybe I missed something. I apologize. Let's see. There's a lot of people chatting with each other instead of asking me questions. I must have gotten boring for a little while. Probably while I was talking about accounting so much. I apologize about that. Yeah, this is an interesting point. The industry would benefit from a resource for retail release dates and stuff in different regions. Like I said, that show does sound like an interesting idea. I just don't know what the feasibility of it or the usefulness. I could start to see it, but like the usability would be difficult. Are there any games that you sold or moved on that you regret doing so? Not particularly. I sold off my copy of Broom Service a few years back because I wasn't getting it played because Winnie doesn't like it. And that's one of the only games that I've repurchased because now I feel like I have more of an opportunity to play it. It's on the Dice Tower library, so I try to bring it to retreats and stuff, put it on the share shelf so that people play it, and so I can play it as well. We also rebought Codenames because now Wendy is working with the teenage girls at our church. So that's an easy activity, kind of a game to pull out. We have not gone to the go-karts yet, unfortunately, no. Ding, 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 ding. Some more glitches. I apologize. This camera has been relegated to this back studio because we don't live stream from here very often. I remember this partway into starting the live stream, that the HDMI connection in here is a little bit tenuous, which is why we don't use it in the main studio anymore. What's the most deluxeified game that I own? Or what's the most I've deluxeified a game? I got all the Terraforming Mars expansions. I don't really deluxeify individual games very much. I buy things that I think are useful for multiple games. I have one set of metal coins and a set of poker chips that I can use in many games. I have a set of, bit bowls and stuff that I can use for lots of different games. I don't really deluxeify individual games. Ooh, I'm coming along here. Yeah. So in the Essen vlog, the Mini Factory, I forget what they were called, but there's that company that would color 3D print miniatures that looked really cool. They looked very good in person. I asked them, pardon me, I asked them if they would start, if they had plans to partner up with different board game manufacturers for Kickstarter projects and stuff, selling this higher tier of like pre-colored miniatures, basically. And they said they've put some thought into it. I think that they're more focused on more like Hero Forge is the website where you can customize a miniature. You can decide how you want it put together and stuff, and then they will make a miniature for you. I think they are at first trying to get the company more recognized for being able to print on-demand stuff. Hey, I want this model. This is the color scheme I want it. They can print the same model, but then print it in different color schemes and stuff. So I think that's what they're starting with, at least for now. I would be very interested to see Kickstarters using these kind of pre-colored miniatures. I bet it would be cheaper. It is 3D printed, but those are some of the best quality 3D printed stuff that I've seen for miniatures, at least. Do I have an out-of-print Grail game? I don't. Not necessarily. Right now, I want to get Coal Baron, like I said, but I'm also not in a huge rush because it's fine if I only play it every once in a while. I bought the Avalon Hill version of Nexus Ops. I really like that one. The Fantasy Flight version is cool too, but there's something doofy, quirky that I like about the Avalon Hill one. Oh, the Mike DeLisio effect. Yeah, Viking Seesaw. Mike DeLisio sold more copies of that game than Reiner Knizia has, I'll tell you that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. I'm not going to put up every nice thing that people say, but yeah, Mike and I have a good rapport. When I moved here, he and I just kind of became, I think, maybe you'll have to ask him, I think we became pretty instant buddies. We both have similar tastes in music and like sharing music, and Mike has no shame, as well, as you can tell. So I appreciate him a lot. He also gave me a ride because I didn't have a car for a while. So we would carpool. It also makes sense to carpool. In fact, I'm going to carpool home with him because when I came together in the morning, she has to leave to pick up our daughter, and then I'm going to go home with Mike because we can carpool, so we don't have to drive 3 cars for this whole endeavor. So anyway, Mike's a very nice guy. I inconvenience him a lot, and I'm grateful that he's very patient with me. Hey, Corey showed up. Woo woo! Corey Thompson, if you don't know him, he does the Dice Tower News podcast, Dice Tower Now. So you should check him out. Corey's a fantastic guy. He always does a lot of great work and stuff for helping us out at conventions, and whenever we cross paths with him, I'm always excited to see Corey. No, I don't have a split personality. I'm also not Frank. My brother's name is Frank. I'll be Frank. There's a lot of inner chatter conversation going on here that has nothing to do with asking me questions. I approve of this. I'm glad that y'all are playing nicely in the sandbox together. I have not tried Andromeda's Edge. I know that Mike is obviously very excited about it. I'll definitely play it with him. I've only played Dwellings of Eldervale once. That was the first game that I played with the crew of the Dice Tower. So that game will hold a special place in my heart, if for no other reason than that. When I flew out here to get settled in first before the official big move, come out here, apartment hunt and all that stuff, which, by the way, you have to do in Homestead because everything is HOA and they require like a month to background check you and everything to make sure you don't own any chair dogs or any other aforementioned abominations. But so I was very grateful for Tom not having us drive out here and be like, and you can't live anywhere for 4 weeks. But yeah, I sat down and played a game of Dwellings of Eldervale with a couple of the guys here, and that was a great experience. Ooh, okay. In honor of Halloween and spooky season, what are some of my favorite horror movies and or stories that I like? I just finished rewatching Over the Garden Wall. I recommended this on a Board Game Breakfast probably a year ago or so. I love Over the Garden Wall. If you haven't watched it, it's a Cartoon Network mini-series that Elijah Wood voices the main character. Colin, I forget his name, voices his brother. And it's just these 2 brothers lost in the woods. And it's a fantastic mini-series that is, it's not horror, but it has cartoony elements of horror. It's like a Max Fleischer throwback animation kind of a thing. It's so good. The penultimate episode really ties the whole story together because you're not really sure what's going on a lot of the time, but you're enjoying this fun journey of these two brothers. And at the end, it wraps up so nicely. I love it. It's heartwarming. It's spooky when it needs to be. The main antagonist is fairly frightening. Not scary, but like a good beast of an antagonist to have. It's one of my favorite things. I love watching Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know. Yeah, I really recommend Over the Garden Wall, though. Elijah Wood does a great job voicing this dorky little main character. I like him a lot. Yeah, Risk and Access and Eyes when you're kids. It's a good time in life to be able to play 6-hour-long games. That I had the same amount of time now. But hey, I own a daughter. Maybe she'll want to start playing some big old games like that. Oh, there's puns going on in the chat. Yes, I'd like to change careers to become a person who hangs up mirrors. It's a job I can really see myself doing. It's one of my favorites. And now people are talking about People are talking about Axis and Allies and stuff now. Look what I've started. Yes, who wouldn't love Wendy? Hey, I think I'm doing pretty good here. Who got shotgun when carpooling? I guess me, because Mike's driving. It's his car that I'm hopping into, so he doesn't make me sit in the back. That's nice. Do I like solo games? Yes. I just reviewed, actually, incredibly favorably with Mike, Resist, the new game from Salt and Pepper Games. That is a fantastic solo game. Really highly recommend it. If you haven't watched the review yet, we talk very effusively about it because it's so good. We have a couple of other solo reviews coming up. I think this week we're doing Siege of Rune. No, I said that wrong. Siege of Valeria, and then Stellarion, the new Oniverse, Onirim type game. So yeah, I'm going to be in several different solo games, reviews of solo games, and several of these games that I played solo and stuff. So played Dune Immortality expansion solo, played Dune Imperium for the first time solo with that. Dune is a fantastic solo mode. I really liked it. It just lets you kind of be in the driver's seat more of the time. You flip over a card or use the app, and the opponents go to a worker placement spot. You don't worry about what the spot does. You just do whatever the card says for them, and it simulates them getting points at a pretty good rate. That it's not easy, but it's not a cakewalk. But it's not. I don't know. I've only played one time, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Well, I just got a thumbs down. What did I say? Was it the chair dog comment? Yes, D-Train, I did work at PwC. That was my internship shirt. As the back of it says, from 2015, which does not feel like that was 7 years ago. But I had an internship to PwC. I got hired on. They took me to Disney World. And if you get hired on to PwC, that's their big selling point. At the end of the internship, you get a job offer, then you get taken to Disney World, and it's awesome. And then they sit you down, and you do about 8 hours of corporate-ish style training, and then you have a few hours of evening in the park. And I was like, this is very indicative of what public accounting is like. Suitcase, no good news still. Did you prefer Revive or Endless Winter? I don't know. Both are great. Both are great, and they both probably actually have the same score, so I'll have to, at some point, figure out which one of those I liked more than the others. Own a daughter? Yeah, I started saying that years ago. It's just as a goof. Yeah, we have a daughter. Did I ever try Grand Austria Hotel solo? I didn't know there was a solo mode. I love Grand Austria Hotel. All right. Oh my goodness, I have caught up to the chat. Do you sometimes go a bit Kickstarter crazy? No, I really don't. I'm one of the worst people at backing Kickstarters in the office. I'm trying to remember what the last Kickstarter I've backed was. Roy's game, Last Light, probably. Before that, Cora Quest. And that is the first time in a long time that I've backed 2 games in the same year on Kickstarter. I've thought about doing one of those Kickstarter look-backs, kind of the way that Tom and Mike have done. And it would be one video. My series would be very short. I think the first thing I backed was Brass Birmingham, or when Luda Creations got their cash box stolen at Essen. They made this like cheap little postcard game that was like a steal the cash box from us, ha ha ha, and then they made money off of it, and they hopefully they made back all of the money that was stolen from them. But I backed that not for the game, but because that sounded really crummy, of course. That's probably the first Kickstarter I ever backed, and I have backed maybe one a year. Pret-a-Porter, maybe one a year, mind you. What was my favorite deduction game? I know it's recency bias, but I'm thinking of Turing Machine. I love it. It's more of that Wordle type deduction rather than like a Clue or anything. I don't know. Worst or best at backing Kickstarters? Well, I damage my wallet far less than many other people, so I might be the best. Who knows? I'm the worst when it comes to when people are like, ooh, does this project look really good? I'm like, sure does. Also, I'll wait 2 years and see if the game's any good. All right, we're wrapping up here, folks. So I'm just going to look and make sure there's any other questions. Let's see here. Yeah, thank you so much for coming out to another Dice Tower Q&A. Ooh, the Let's Waltz expansion for Grand Austria Hotel added a solo mode. Interesting. I'm curious if that's the kind of game that I would enjoy solo. I love the hotel part. I love the dice drafting. I love that little dynamic with the other players, but I could see a solo mode working for it. If anyone from Lookout Spiel is watching this, would you send us a copy of the Let's Waltz expansion? Because it seems inane to me that you would have not printed more of those. I wanted to pick up a copy at Spiel, but they were sold out. So are there more coming? I would love to eventually play that expansion. Alrighty. Oh, man. Have I played any VR board games? No. Is a Puzzle 2 Strike review on the way? I earlier showed just the multiple walls of games that we have to get through here, so we'll get to games when we do. I'm going to call this one good here. I've double-checked, triple-checked even the chat here to make sure there's not any great questions there that I missed at the end. Thank you so much for coming out to another Dice Tower video here, Q&A. Remember that there's a contest. And I remembered the contest earlier, actually at the beginning of the video. So if you want a Game Nerds gift certificate, go ahead and look back at the beginning. Till next time, everybody, thank you so much for coming by the Dice Tower. I'm Chris Yee, and you have yourselves a fantastic day.